Good evening, gamers. Today we're going to be looking at my 10 investments for 2021. So these investments you should definitely have a look at, see what you think about them, and they have very good potential to do really good this year. What I'm going to do it based on, I'm going to give you the item, I'm going to explain the reasoning, the price it is right now, best time to buy, best time to sell, and just have a quick chat about it. And give you just, 10 new investments you can have a look at and see if you think, they might have somewhere to go. So the first one I'm going to hit off with are Kato Hollows 2015 Hollows. Now, these are starting to see a price increase now, there's a bit of hype behind them, so you want to be looking at them very, very quickly, because I think as we get close to the summer, they're going to have a very big hype. These are really nice stickers, really nice hollow effects, and they are quite rare, and the ones you really should be looking at are the LGB Esports Hollow, the Fnatic Hollow, the Cloud9 Hollow, the Flip Side, the Key Stars, and the Counter Logic Gaming. Those 6 are in the sweet spot in the middle, where they're not too expensive, but they're not too pricey. There's a lot of potential there, and they still look really nice. So these ones, they give you, the ones that are more pricey out there are going to cost you more, but they're less likely to do as good. These have much more potential to rise. They are quite commonly crafted with, people really like them, especially the Chinese market. And now that Kato 14, some are not even, you can't even buy some Kato Hollows and papers on the market anymore. And it's getting towards the area now they're too expensive anyway for the Chinese to craft, so they're looking for an alternative, and the community's already agreed on Kato 15s are the way to go. They are the next ones. So by getting in on this hype early, you should be able to flip these in the summer, or maybe just before. There will be a hype coming this year, or you hold them. So the best time to buy is probably right now. You want to get in these as quick as possible. They already are seeing some hype, some manipulation, so you might want to check the trends, because some stickers have been affected, others haven't. If they're still trending around the same price that they should be, now's the time to cash in, get some. If not, you can always wait for them to go down, or you can just go, they're going to go up from their prices where they are now, so you're not going to worry too much. As for price rise, I'll just quickly put on screen, these are the prices for each sticker. As you see, even though they're still pricey, they're not too pricey. The next one is the CS20 case. Now, there's a lot of reason behind this. This one is definitely going to be a bit more of a long haul, but there's lots of reasons positive for it, and it's about getting on this hype a bit earlier will help you out. So with the CS20 case, it's currently non-prime drop, and it's going to probably be there for a little bit longer. We're probably talking the rest of this year, it'll probably still be a non-prime drop. But what's good about the CS20 case is it's got classic knives. It's the only case to have classic knives, and there's a lot of hype around them. The original knives from original Counter-Strike, there's a lot of nostalgia. People really like them. I really like them. I own a vanilla one. And they're probably going to do well in the long run. Now, the interesting bit with this is, will they discontinue it ever? And there's arguments for and arguments against. Arguments for is obviously they will. Come on now, they're eventually just going to get taken out of the pool. And that's probably true. How long? We don't know. Now, I'm thinking this year is probably the last year we'll have them dropping. And then people are not opening them as much. And as we've seen today with the Prisma case, if they're not being opened a lot, they'll just get completely discontinued. That's not even gone to non-prime players. Prisma's just been sort of booted out. So we might even see it happen this year, but I'm thinking it's going to be next year, which is why this year is your time to get in on them. People currently are sleeping on them. They're not really expending too much or stocking up on them. And right now, the time to buy is probably going to be later towards the end of this year, so October, November time. When you probably October as November, and then it encroaches on CSGO's birthday, and they might just remove it then and add a completely new case. You never know. So with this, that's the idea behind it, and sell it. You just wait for them to discontinue it. There'll be a massive hype spike, and you just sell at the peak, and there you go, sweet profit. Basically, do a Prisma case. You see here, if you discontinued it, it'll slowly start rising, then it'll peak, hit a high point, you dump them then, and then they'll eventually come back down to a more in the middle price, and that'll be its new price from then on out for a bit. So this is something you should look at towards the end of the year. If you've got some money flying around, you might say, you know what, I'll buy 10, 20, 100, 200, 500, however many you want, and just have them to see what happens. I've got myself a good 500 just sitting around waiting, and I think one day we will see some good returns on them. So keep an eye on these. Nice case, innit? Right, so the next thing for me is a Pandoras Box. And this is from the Gods and Monsters collection. Nice skin, blue, it's got, you know, I quite like the design, I like the pattern. And if you can get it in a good flow, this is only going to go up. It's just had a steady trend over the past year. And now with new operation collections coming in, people are looking towards the old ones. And as you see since Shattered Web, it's just slowly been going up, and it's going to continue this uptrend. This one, buy in now. Trust me, people are currently being focused on the new operation. They've been all excited over Shattered Web, Broken Fang, but people have not really looked too much to Pandora's Box or Gods and Monsters or any other of those collections, like Chop Shop, for example. You have the Rising Sun, which we'll cover later. These sort of old collections, not everyone's gone mad for. Some people don't even know they exist, but it's a really nice skin. You don't see it often, so you could play with it for a bit, keep it for a year, and you'll see good returns. This should probably better double in price over the year pretty easily because of the Medusa, which is what eventually this will trade up to. This trades up to, I think this goes to Icarus Fell, and you got an Icarus Fell that goes up to Poseidon, and then you go Poseidon to Medusa. It's a bit of a trade, but it gets you there eventually, and that means with Medusa rising in price, the older, more rare orbs are getting a bit more hype around them now. People are going to probably start wanting to trade up and having a factory new one of these. There's not many on the market, and you can pick your one up now. You'll only be overpaying, what, like $10 from what you did if you got it back in January. However, if you leave it much longer, it's probably going to go up more. So this is something you should definitely consider, look at. Okay, the next thing I'm going to look at is another skin, and it's a skin I've got a lot of hope for. It's the Orb on Itaji. Now, with this skin, it's a really nice piece of artwork. It is from the Hydra Case. It's a covert from there, and any condition I would say is probably a bit of a bag, but more so focus on a factory new. Bit more out there, I know. A low float minimum wear could also do you well. If you have to field test it, it doesn't look too bad, but it's a really nice high tier orb, looks really good, and people like it. But with the Hydra Case starting to rise, and well, it has been rising for a while, but it's even rising further now, it means this orb's going to become more expensive and rise with it. It's one of the few sort of play skins you can get out of cases where you can actually get a bit of an investment going with it. So it's something you can keep, you can play with. It's from a case, so it's, you know, it's nice to have a play skin from a case that you can use as an investment. Again, I would say buy them right now because the case is going to go up more. People are trying to get stuff out of the Hydra gloves, and I would hold it for probably a spike, but it's going to be a steady riser if anything. It's going to slowly just keep gaining more and more value. And if you're looking for a new orb, now I won't prioritize this over other things. There are much better investments in this list than the Orb on Itaji. However, to cover play skins from cases, this is probably one of your best bets. Honestly, I would advise to buy it now. There's a bit of a slump in prices. It's starting to recover since the RMR sale, but right now it's probably a pretty good low. If not, you're going to have to wait till summer. And then hold it as long as you want, to be honest. You can just keep this and it will just slowly gain its value. But if you want a time to sell, buy January, February time. Now you want to maybe hold out to Chinese New Year, this is going to see a little bump then, but even January and February it's a good time when skin price is quite high, so this is something you'd probably want to hold till then, and it's a sick goddamn orb, so why not get it? Now the next thing I'm going to cover is the Breakout Case. This is a case I am starting to build up a bit more of a portfolio with. I've already got a good handful of them. I got them a while ago when they were like 55 pence, now they're 3 times that price. Now, with this, it's got something that no other case has, butterfly knives. Butterfly knives have been getting more popular, people have been more desirable, wanting them, and that has led to the price of the case going up. It's steadily going up. Now, there's only a finite number of these cases, and even if you look on the market right now, there's not a lot around. So as these get lower and lower, you know, maybe you even start to see not quite Bravo case prices, but getting up there, see quite good profits. I'm really liking the draw of this case. Now, they could release butterfly knives. As this case get low in quantity, release butterfly knives in a new case. That would kill it, but it won't destroy it. There's a lot of knives in here that they probably won't re-release as a new finish. It's been discontinued, so it's a really safe case just to hold on, but we'll see pretty good returns. So if you're looking for a case that isn't as cheap as the CS20 and will receive good returns this year, the Breakout Case is probably something you want to consider. I would start buying them now. They are basically recovered from the RMR sale, so you won't be at a disadvantage at buying them now, but they are going to start rising in price after this. Okay, so now the next thing is we're going to hit Rising Sun collection, the Aqua Terrace. Now there's not a lot of factory new counter terrace, Aqua Terrace, stuff like this around. Looks really good, I like it, it's clean, but the more big of a law is how this trades up. The EHOPPPZ is quite popular and quite rare. It needs to be in factory new or minimal wear because of how much the org shows wear. If you get it in low conditions, it does look pretty beat up. So buying yourself a really nice Aqua Terrace always works out well. All it takes is for someone to go, I'm going to do a trade up, buy 5 of them, and then you'll see a huge spike because there's that few on the market. Buy in now, wait a bit, it was still going to have a steady trend going up as more and more get used for trade ups. Like I said, the EHOPPPZ is one of the best orgs out there, and if people want a cool org, it's a weeb org. There's not many out there. So you can see really good returns on this, especially with how popular a lot of the old operations are getting. These collections are pretty much not coming back. They are more rarer than the new operation collections because back then less people played. So the best potential are these, and right now, again, like Pandoras Box, they're quite a low. There's not much going on because people are focused on new operation, but as people start to sell their new operation skins, as people start to look elsewhere other than the new operations and shattered webs as they start to gain in price, they're going to start looking at old operations, and these prices are going to start to kick in and go higher. Probably see towards the summer, and then towards December you're going to see these just steadily rise up throughout the year. Hold it for a year, you'll probably get 1.5 to 2 times, and just be happy with getting an okay float and just watch it rise, watch it rise. Speaking of trade-ups, well, a whole collection I'm going to say here. Now there's other collections here, but we're going to hit the trade-up farm. Now with these, there's a reason why I've covered a specific band for trade-ups. These are going for covert trade-ups, and you're talking like the Prince, the Gungnir, the X-Ray, probably not so much now the Fade Orb, but the high tier trade-ups, a Glock Fade for sure. People often use the After Image, the Electro High, Cobalt Disruption, Cold Blooded, stuff like that. And we'll be focusing on old case skins. The Esports 2013 collection. There's other ones that you can get, I can't remember what it's from, but Cold Blooded and stuff like that. Serum, all these are alternatives, but I'm just going to focus on the Esports 2013 collection for a reason. These are quite popular skins anyway to play with, but also they are quite popular for trade-ups, and they've seen pretty good rises. Now the After Image, the Electro Hive, Cobalt Disruption are all from Esports 2013, and these 3 skins, not the After Image so much, but the Electro Hive and Cobalt Disruption are quite commonly used, people like them. Their prices for factory new, which is where you're going to want to be hitting, are not outlandish, but they have really seen skyrocketed, and they will continue to do so. You need to keep in mind when you're trading up for like a $2,000 skin, $3,000, whatever you're doing, you are going to not mind spending $50 to get a trade up for them, especially when you're spending $700 on skins to add as the main thing. So if you get a Molnir, for example, when you're trading up for a same expensive skin, you don't mind spending a bit more on the trade up fodder to better your chances. So you're looking at the Electro Hybrid Cobalt Draft image. They're all got the potential, they're all, you can't get any more. They can be unboxed, they can be traded up for, but the cases are getting pretty low. There's not many of those cases out there now. So you should be looking at this trade up fodder now, because there won't be any new ones. CS always releases cases now with 2 coverts instead of 1 covert. So if you want to invest in these, invest in now. Or if you really want to risk it, there's a small chance they may start to go down towards the summer as people do less trade ups. However, the quantity won't be increasing, so you've got a real big risk. If you want to be completely risk averse and save yourself, invest now. They will still go up quite well over a year's time. When the next operation hits, they'll go up quite well. But overall, wait out at your Mevo. You might get them a little bit cheaper, but is it worth the risk? That's down to you. Okay, another sticker I'm going to cover now. Furia Hollow from Kato 19. The price on this has gone quite low. It's quite cheap right now, quite affordable. If you have a look, there you go. Not bad at all, is it now? I know it's a bit more pricey for some, but it's a really nice sticker. It's almost like a holographic updated iBuyPower. I know that's a bit of a controversial thing because it's nowhere near as good as the Kato 14. But it's still really well liked, the quantity's not insane, and I think it's got really good potential because we're not going to see stickers with such low quantity in future, with such nice hollow effects. If you look to the future, more people play CSGO. As we've seen from RMR, more people are investing. Everyone wants to be an investor these days, so the next stickers in the future, like the Stockholm Online, are probably going to be oversaturated. Probably going to have a lot of people going in, and you're never going to see these sort of low quantities that Kato 19 really had. Berlin, they started to increase the quantities. You've gone after that, it's got even worse. Kato 19 was probably your last best bet to invest in major stickers. You'll probably still see better returns, but you're probably going to want to return to Kato 19s now to see those big profits. So with the Furia Hollow, nice sticker, good looking, really cheap right now. This sort of the heat of it has been taken off, and people have sort of forgotten about it. Soon it's going to start picking up a bit more pace, a bit more momentum, and you're going to see it increase in price. So buy in now, hold for a year, maybe into the January-February margin where it's a sweet spot to sell things, and you should see some good returns. It might even see good returns towards the summer, so you might be able to flip it a bit quicker. If this sticker hype trickles down from the Kato 15s to the Kato 19s, there's a good chance, but it's not certain. Now, I'm going to go for really far out there now. If you have the Moolah, and you should be looking at, there is the M484 Poseidon, but I'm going to cover the AK-47 Hydroponic. Now, in any float, this is going to be great. I have a low float field tested. Now, people are using them to trade ups to get themselves the Magical like a Harbour accept. But for me, it's a really nice skin. It's a funny 420 gun. It looks nice. It's a green AK. Let's be honest, we don't have many of those, if any at all. Looks really cool in game, really does turn heads, but the quantity's low, and you're not going to see many more. How often do you see it in game? So if you have a Moolah, you should really be looking at this. It's really out there right now. Come on, just look at this price. But you got it. This will probably do you well. You'll probably see really good returns. These are rare enough, the quantity's so low, and we're seeing more and more people now turn to the old Operation collections as the newer collections are getting a bit more saturated, but also there's just so much of them. The older collections are looking like the promised little secret that no one's really going into right now. So in an instance, look at any old Operation. They'll probably do you pretty good. The key ones you should be looking at are Rising Sun, Gods and Monsters. They right now haven't really got too much going on, but really have a chance. Even Cobblestone, really good chance. All of those. Then, final thing, I was tied between two things to mention. I was thinking the Graphite, because it looks really good with stickers. It's quite popular when the Brava case is increasing and people really want fire serpents. So that's a good chance. But I'm actually going to go with the Cologne Dignitas 2014 Hollow. Really nice sticker, really nice hollow effect. Often sees manipulation. Right now it's being manipulated, so I would not buy into this for another month. Or maybe 2 months. You want to hold off a bit. Right now it's manipulated, it's very high. It should come down quite a lot. And when it does, stock up, get yourself some, and just hold. It's a really nice sticker, got a really nice effect. And it's one of the best Cologne 14. The rest of the Cologne 14s are not going to see much, but this one, this is where you should be at. So if you stock up on a few of these, I would do it in a few months when the prices got back more down to normal. And then hold it, you'll hit a sticker hype next year. Hold it till January, February, it'll slowly increase its price anyway, but then you hit a sticker hype in March, April, maybe a bit more into the summer, and you'll be pretty home and happy there. So overall, that is what my thoughts are on just 10 investments you should definitely have a look at. Is there any you missed? Let me know down below. Remember to do the good stuff, like, comment, subscribe, all that. And I'll be back next week, and I'll probably cover my Broken Fang investments then. Once the prices settle down a bit more, I'll talk through what I've got and give you some ideas when you might want to sell. But anyway, that is all. Thank you so much for watching. I am out. We'll probably see you good